A huge effort is taking place right now to get thousands of French language books from Atlanta to the French-speaking country of Mali in West Africa. Volunteers are now feverishly packing the books for shipping from their warehouse right here in Atlanta. And joining us now from Minnesota to tell us more about this Herculean effort is Pat Blonsky, Executive Director of Books for Africa. Pat, what a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate the opportunity to talk about this exciting project.
Absolutely. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the history of Books for Africa. Founded in 1998, it became a dream from your founder, Tom Worth. Tell me a little bit more about how you've grown to become the largest shipper of books to the African continent.
Yes, well, we have grown, and it's just bit by bit, incremental growth every year. Trying to do a bit more. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And when I came in, we'd send like 500,000 books a year. And now it's something like 3.7 million, something like that. So it's a big effort. It's a volume effort. And we do everything we can to get more books. And that's how we measure success, because the need for books, the demand for books in Africa is so large. It's all about getting more books to more kids across the continent.
Right, right. Tell me a little bit about the partnerships that you guys have developed to help you get the books, first of all, because you got to get the books from somewhere. So tell me a little bit about how that part works and some of your corporate partners that have really helped you make this dream a reality.
Well, we do have partnerships all over the continent. We send books out of Atlanta, but books just this year have left out of Montreal. Containers going to leave out of Paris, London, a lot of books out of San Francisco, Annapolis, Maryland. So our largest warehouse is in Atlanta, Georgia. That said, a lot of books go through other places as well. The financing comes from all over the world, frankly. And a number of our big corporate beer corporate partners are Merck, for example, has provided over $1 million over the years to get books across Africa, medical books in particular. Out of Print, which is part of the Penguin Harcourt Publishing Group, has provided over the years over $1 million. And so there's we work with the U.S. Department of Defense and USAID, and then we work with people like Somali cab drivers and people who are traveling to Africa and have different, places that they visit, interests in, a village or a town that they visited.
Absolutely. And for folks who don't know, Minnesota has an extremely large African population, folks who have migrated to Minnesota from Africa. I learned that because I visited there quite often, but I never figured out the connection. Is there some sort of connection, maybe a church, or I mean, how do so many folks from Africa find their way to Minneapolis-St. Paul?
I think it's not the weather, a lot of snow here and cold weather, but I think people in Minnesota are they're very heartwarming. They want to help. So a lot of the larger populations are refugees. So there was some warfare in Somalia, a lot of folks from Liberia here, they're, after the war that had been going on there. So just a lot of different groups, the Hmong from Southeast Asia, for example.
Yeah. So you guys are working now. You got about 5,000 books that are being loaded up right here in the Metro Atlanta area. Tell me a little bit about the process. I would imagine it takes an army of volunteers to get these books ready for shipping and out the door.
It does indeed. It's a volume operation. So our goal this year is to send 3.1 million books. And so what we need is millions of books. And while we do have some paid staff, the sorting of those books is largely by volunteers. So now that spring break is coming on us, a number of college groups, Hands on Atlanta provides a lot of volunteers. And so it does require an army of volunteers because that's a lot of books to sort. And we don't want to just send any book that comes in. It's all about getting the right books to the right people. And so sometimes books have to be recycled, unfortunately, made into other books or something. But then if it's good to go to Africa, then it's sorted by category. So the kids in kindergarten get kindergarten books, and the kids at universities get university level books. And
Nice.
hopefully everybody gets what they want.
Nice. I think there's a bigger picture here too, and help me sort through this thought. But it's about the global connectivity that we're all dealing with, right? So a smarter Africa, a better educated Africa, through the donation of books, makes for better global partners. I mean, isn't that what we should all be striving for on all the continents?
Yeah, absolutely. I maintain we're doing a lot of work for the U.S. State Department in terms of citizen diplomacy, and frankly a lot of work for the U.S. military in terms of preventing strife, just by building goodwill across the world and building communication and the opportunities to connect and to connect in meaningful ways. So the sending of books does allow people to connect from the United States to Africa, from all over the world to Africa. Sometimes the money will come from London, the books will come from our warehouse in Atlanta, and the donor is in, let's say, San Francisco, and
Right.
the recipient is in South Africa. That's a
Wow.
typical situation, and sometimes it's a group effort with 100 or more donors donating towards one project. Maybe it's a Rotary Club or something like that, or a church or a mosque, and sometimes it's one donor who has a family foundation. So we take it how it comes.
Right.
But you're absolutely correct, Mark. It's all about people here in the United States and elsewhere in the rich world, helping those who are more needy and are lacking something like books.
Right. Right. Talk to me about the youth in a place like Mali. 60% of its population is under the age of 25. I mean, that's a staggering and surprising statistic. I think anyone
Right.
would be surprised to hear that.
Right. I mean, Africa is one of the youngest continents. I think it is the youngest continent in the world. So, in that, and we think in terms of workforce readiness, and as the demographics in the United States and Europe and Japan, folks are getting older on average. People in Africa are much younger, and so you think in terms of where goods and services will be produced in this world, and Africa is the answer for a lot of that. Also, truth be told, sometimes those younger populations, they can be at risk for extremism and things like that.
Mm,
And so, if you don't have jobs for young people who are, interested in supporting families and working, that can be problematic too. So all of that means
absolutely.
that those demographics are very important. And of course, all those kids, they need opportunity to fulfill their lives and make their lives meaningful. And education is key to that. And of course, books and reading materials in general are key to education.
Yeah. And I think it's amazing that you've got these French language books as well. We forget that English isn't the only language, spoken throughout the world. There are other languages too.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal is to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what we have to give here in the United States is English language books, obviously. But, French rather is widely spoken across Africa. And so we do what we can to get French books. In Mali, they actually wanted a mix of French and English books because they want French books, but everybody in Africa, it seems, wants to learn English, perfect their English, because it is the global language for commerce and tourism and everything. And of course, Arabic in North Africa is important. We have sent some Arabic books. We've also custom printed books in local languages. So
Oh, wow.
again, it's all about doing what we can to give people what they want, and to not say, well, this is what we have, so this is what you want, and you got to
Right.
take it. It's about,
Right.
same with digital. We try to provide digital books. We sent over 5 million digital books in addition to
Wow.
large quantities of print books.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Patrick, before I let you go, you mentioned a couple of organizations that provide some volunteer help for you. But if I'm not affiliated with one of those organizations, how can I get involved and help Books for Africa?
Well, you can go to booksforafrica.org, and you can, from there, you can donate towards a book project. You can donate $1, and $1 will send 2 books to kids across Africa. Or,
Wow.
you know, and that's how the math goes. So if somebody donates $1,000, that's 2,000 books. That's about 2 tons of books. So, you know, books can also be donated, and they will get to our warehouse in Atlanta, Georgia. And partnership opportunities are key. So people contact us saying, well, how can my corporation be involved? Maybe do a book drive at a corporate work site, or maybe their Rotary Club wants to be involved, or maybe they're a member of an African diaspora group and they have a village somewhere in Africa that wants books. Booksforafrica.org is the clearinghouse for all of that.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, Patrick Blonsky, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We certainly appreciate it. And we certainly appreciate your efforts, you know, providing books a world away for people who really need them, and the effort and commitment behind it. It is nothing short of amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to your listeners. We welcome the support of everyone to help us get more books to kids across Africa.
All right. Patrick Blonsky, Executive Director, booksforafrica.org is the website for more information.